In the first ever edition of Compare My Passports, I was recently asked by a dual US-Canadian citizen which passports to use in which countries and what to be aware of. I'm going to answer that question in this video. Hey, I'm Andrew Henderson. If you are looking to work with my team and I, you can go to nomadcapitalist.com, learn how we can help you develop your own Nomad Capitalist strategy. Now, I want to start something new called Compare My Passport. And so I'd like your comments on which dual citizenship scenarios you would like to hear about. So leave a comment below. But in this particular situation, a gentleman asked that if he has US citizenship and Canadian citizenship, how should he use those different passports in different situations? Now, as the Nomad Capitalist, the first thing I want to bring to your attention is if you're a US citizen, you're a US citizen. So that means you can go to Canada, use your Canadian passport, and you can go and open bank accounts around the world, and that's fine. It doesn't lessen or eliminate in any way your obligations to report those bank accounts on your FBAR in the United States. It doesn't mean that you can go and do certain business practices around the world as a Canadian and then just tell the United States, oh, you can't regulate me. A US citizen is a US citizen is a US citizen. It doesn't matter what other passports you have. So do keep that in mind anytime you've got a US citizenship. People think that a second passport is a ticket to avoid all of the rules the US imposes on you. That's simply not the case. But from a travel perspective, let's dig into this. The US and Canadian passports are actually pretty similar. The United States actually has two visa-free countries that its passport holders can travel to. I'm sure they're high on your list. Central African Republic and Equatorial Guinea, both in Africa, both countries that you're probably not going to go to. So if you are going to those countries for some reason, and you don't want to have to find the nearest Central African Republic embassy, then you should just go with your US passport, show up at the airport, and you'll be whisked right in. In fact, I think that the United States is the only or one of the only countries that actually gets visa-free travel to those countries. So that's a unique benefit of sorts. As a Canadian citizen, there actually isn't any benefit. There are no other countries that you can travel to that Americans can't. Canadians used to be able to travel to Venezuela. That appears to be gone. So the passports are pretty much the same unless you're swinging through Central Africa. You're going to be able to pretty much pick from either one. It doesn't really matter. Okay. And so I made a video on how to use two passports when traveling that may be relevant to you. Here's where I think that the soft benefits of each passport are important. There are a few countries around the world that certainly hold US citizens in high regard. Georgia is one of them. Kosovo, I think, is one of them. We don't have to get into whether you want to call that a country or not. There aren't too many countries where people are super gung-ho about Americans. Those are two for obvious reasons. Obviously, what there are countries where perhaps US citizens just aren't really welcome as much. I mean, maybe they can go there and travel, but maybe they get the stink eye. There are certain countries. Now, maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care if the border guard, gives you the stink eye. If he lets you in, what's the difference, right? If you're a proud U.S. citizen, you can use your U.S. passport. But certainly, a lot of people over the years have liked the idea of using their Canadian passport. As most people don't have a problem with the Canadians. I mean, who has a grudge against them? And so, to me, the difference between a lot of these Tier A passports is often just kind of a soft reputational benefit, right? If you're going somewhere, if you don't want to use your U.S. passport for personal safety reasons, or just because you just want to feel a bit more welcome, then in that case, you might use a Canadian passport or whatever other dual citizenship you might have. But when you're comparing the U.S. passport and the Canadian passport, the differences are very subtle. And I think you'll find that with a lot of these Tier A passports. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist. I wrote this book, which you can find on Amazon, to distill a lot of the stuff we talk about in these videos and a lot of the stuff I've learned over the last decade plus traveling all around the world, teaching you about how to legally reduce your taxes build your personal freedom, and create wealth faster. Definitely get a copy of this book if you want to learn more. Now, if you want to watch more videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the notifications bell so you never miss one of our new videos with more tips on how to go where you're treated best. And if you're already a 6 or 7 figure entrepreneur and you'd like to put these strategies in place for yourself, go to nomadcapitalist.com and learn about how I can help you.